Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about mount collection and more specifically, I will be talking about adding new thematic mount collecting achievements and also just collection achievements in general in the game. I think a lot of people will agree with me that mounts in the game are probably one of the best rewards you can get and something usually that people are happy to work towards, especially when we're talking about unique skins or very vibrant colors or something that players really want to obtain. And I do think right now we're definitely lacking some of these different collection achievements that could add a little bit more incentives for players to collect all these different mounts and also just again to get some extra things to do in the game and to keep players busy and happy. So just for a quick reminder, right now in Dragonflight, we have at the maximum mount collection achievement, the 501. And as you can see, the reward was this little otter right here, which I think is pretty decent. Then after that, for instance, for the 400, we had this one right here, really nice as well. 350, we had this one. I'm not going to go through all of them, but these were some of the rewards that you were able to get with all these different mount collection achievements. And of course, you can still get them. However, a lot of players have passed the step of 500 mounts and a lot of players have been asking for more. And I do think with the War Within, Blizzard is probably going to add some new ones and I have my good ideas on what the mounts that we will get could be. But next to that, I also want to talk about, for instance, more thematic mount collecting achievements. So for instance, the one that I want to use as an example is the Awake the Drakes. And as you can see, in order to complete this achievement, you need to collect all these rare Drake mounts, and then you will get another Drake, the Emerald Drake. So this is not something that is unique, it is a recolor, but it is the only Drake, at least back in the days, that had this specific color. And so it made it pretty cool to farm for all these different drakes in order at the end to get this meta achievement done and to get this mount as a reward. So let's start with the 600 mount achievement that I really think will be added into the game in the War Within. So for this one, I would say the most obvious choice in my opinion would be the Stormcrow. So this is a really nice mount. As you can see, this is a recolor of these two existing mounts right here, the Solar Spirehawk that you can get from Rookmar, and the Violet Spellwing. It was the height of the curve achievement for Legion. And basically, one thing that is interesting to notice, first of all, this mount has been added into the game back in the patch 5.4.0 Siege of Orgrimmar. And as you can see, there is everything, the icon, there is the item, everything has been created. Some people, for some reason, have even been able to go and take some pictures with it. And another thing that is really interesting to note is the fact that the reward for collecting 600 unique pets is the Stormwing. And as you can see, this is basically the same as the mount, but in a pet version. And again, you will get this achievement when getting 600 unique battle pets. So I think it would make sense that then to get 600 unique mounts, you would get the mount version, which is this really nice Stormcrow right here. But of course, next to that, there are plenty of other options that could be also really interesting. I think another thing that I would really like to see added as the mount achievement reward would be this mount right here, which is the normal Soul Eater. So basically, in Shadowlands, only gladiators were able to get these type of mounts. And normally, players are always able to get the unarmored version of these unique mounts. And so far, we haven't been able to get any of them. So I think it would be really cool to have one of these Soul Winged Eater as the reward for the 600 mount achievement, or maybe the 700, who knows. But again, this is, in my opinion, something that I think would please a lot of players. And again, I'm talking only about the unarmored version, because you really want to make sure to keep it different than the gladiator version. Next to that, and again, I'm just using some of the different mounts that have been added into the game but are just unused till this day. I think there are plenty of other really good examples. So for instance here, as you can see, we have this purple Kiraji War Tank. So this is an obvious recolor to the new updated version of the Black Kiraji War Tank, and also the blue and red ones that you can get during the Call of the Scarab mini event, but these ones are temporary mounts, so you cannot really learn them. So I do think the purple version could be really nice and could be something that a lot of players would enjoy. And again, it could be also a good incentive for a lot of players to try and collect all these different mounts in order to get this really cool mount. Next to that, as you can see, we also have obviously the Caravan Brutosaur. So I think a lot of players have been asking for new of these different Caravan Brutosaur to be added into the game. And there are plenty of these different colors that are available. So I think, for instance, adding the white or the black one as a mount achievement could be interesting. Of course, it could also be, as you will see, be added as part of other thematic collecting achievements. But still, I think, again, it would create an incentive for players to collect more mounts. Then after that, we have other quick examples. So for instance, I really like this deceased white bear. This is something, again, that could be interesting, even though I think a lot of people would be not so pleased with just adding that as a reward. Then another one that I think would make a lot of sense would be the red Urzul. Right now in the game, you can only get this purple version, and this is the reward from Mythic Argus. And I do think having another version like this one would be really, really cool. And also, for instance, we have this one right here, the purple Dread Raven. So right now in the game, you can get the Dread Raven. I mean, at least this one, you were able to get it as part of the heroic version for Wrath of Janeor. And then this one, this is something you can get in WoD as well. Now, again, you have plenty of other things that could be added, but it's just to show you a few examples of mounts that are recolors, but are still nice and unique, and that I think people would still be satisfied with. And again, it would be really low effort for Blizzard because all these different mounts are already there, they're already available, and basically they would just have to add them into the game. Now let's talk about some of the different thematic mount collecting achievements, and I really got this idea from this post right here, and it's from this guy right here, as you can see, the Pitlore Coconut. And basically, he is mentioning a few achievements that could be added that I think would make a lot of sense. So for instance, here you have the Buy Demon Speed Driven, and you need to collect all the different demonic mounts, as you can see all these different ones right here, in order to then get this reward, the red Urzul mount, the one I also showed just before. So again, you don't have to maybe have that many in the achievement, maybe like limiting to 10 would be a good idea. But I think it's a good idea to, for instance, have something that is very specific to demons mounts, and then you can get something really cool that, again, it's not a unique mount, but still something rewarding. Same here, for instance, we have the Every Cloud as a silver lining. So this one, we actually ended up getting it, but maybe having something with all the different cloud serpents could be interesting. Then, as you can see, we have maybe this one right here. This one I'm not a big fan, but again, it's a good way to bring some of these other unused models to the game. So then one that I actually really like is first this one right here, a Box Terror. So you have all these different mounts right here, and then you can get either this one, or in my opinion, I think one that could be really interesting is this Black Honeybee mount. Right now in the game, you can only get the normal version, but I think the black one would be super cool. You could also use this mount for thematic collecting achievements that is only for bugs mounts, and we have quite a lot of them, so I think that could also be really nice. And then, for instance, we have the Jurassic Pack. So here, as you can see, we have all these different ones. I think, for instance, having the Mighty Caravan Brutosaur is not a good idea because it's way too difficult to get right now in Dragonflight. But having other Jurassic type of mount would be good. And then as a reward, for instance, you could get the Albino Caravan Brutosaur, which again, I think a lot of people would be really happy with. And for this one, I have to say, I just really love the name. I think it sounds like a pretty clever name for this type of achievements. Then also, I think we could have, for instance, something for all the different nice horse that you can get in the game. And then you could get some of these unused nice horse mounts. So for instance, you have this one. This red and blue one is also really nice. Then, for instance, there is one that has never been added yet, and we have a few of them actually in the game's files, and these are all these different dog mounts. So these dog mounts could be also added for the 600 mount achievement. It's just that, again, normally we're only getting recolors, even though it would be super nice. But maybe having these dog mounts also added for other type of achievements linked to mount collection could be really nice. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you agree that some of these new achievements could be interesting, and if you would enjoy working on some of these meta mount achievements. And also, if you have any other mounts in mind that you think could be added into the game, for instance, a nice duck mount or something like that, just let me know in the comments. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you all a great day. Bye!